Art, a profound expression of the human spirit. It has been an integral part of human experiences, intricately woven into the fabric of our history, ritual, and spirituality. Throughout the ages, art has been a means of mankind to express the inexpressible, to bridge the gap between material and the divine, and communicate with the realms beyond our immediate senses.
Well, art, I believe, is a creative response. And if we think in terms of its origin, we can only speculate about it. And I would have thought that the way early man or early human being was living in the midst of nature, so he or she would have seen the sun and the moon and the night and the day and the flow of the river, the dense forest, the hills. So that would have led to a spontaneous kind of reaction, which I think would have manifested in some form of art. Now, when we talk of art, art not necessarily in the way that we conceive it today. Uh, on the contrary, that the art could have been expressed in different medium, and I believe that most of the medium perhaps are not durable enough. So therefore, only the portion that are durable are visible to us or that are left for posterity. But I would have thought that the early forms of art would have been expressed in medium which are not available to us, which are mostly not available to us at the moment.
So the first evidence that we get of man's expression about art and creativity, any kind of creativity, is what we find on the rock faces, in the rock shelters. So that is the beginning of the art, and the first expression of humankind. And that we can consider as art, expression of art. And then that rock art basically, like here in Bhopal we have Bhimbetka, there on the rock shelters, plenty of rock art is there, abstract and indicative kind of art is there. It is not something which is very exact, but yes, it indicates, and that tells us about the creativity of that early man in that. But the question comes as, what was the purpose of this art basically? So when we see, although we don't have any evidence about it, but the kind of depictions that we get is mostly of hunting and some activities over the period. A lot of different kind of animals, mythical animals. Sometimes also there are that we call mythical. I mean, those are kind of composite animals which depict, like a very famous boar, which is depicted with horns and minuscule human beings at the foot. But we cannot connect those things whether they are of this part of the same story or as kind of a different, mythical that we call them as mythical animals. So we actually do not know the purpose of this art, why they created these things, whether it was just out of their creativity or as part of certain ritual. So here comes that whether the art is part of a ritual or some magical ritual activity, or it is simply expression of one's creativity. That they went on hunting and they saw something and that they created something. So some of the art members, I mean art which is depicted over there, some of them definitely looks like description of the hunt scene, but some of the pictures definitely tell us about, I mean, indicate towards it being some kind of ritual performed or some kind of elements which are. As the man grew over time, developed, and then the expressions they got diversified, codified, and also got translated into different mediums. So there is kind of one theory. I mean, one theory or one set is that of a mainline art which got classical art forms, which got translated into sculptures, temples, and other elements. I mean, social arts which are basically were depicted on the temples itself. The second art form, which was basically related to some kind of religious activities, but that traveled into the communities, which were part of like domestic art. Art was not a kind of general expression that it is continuing throughout the year. It is on certain occasions that certain kind of paintings or drawings were made on the house walls to perform certain rituals, and the similar thing we can see in those when we see that, I mean, rock arts. There also we find that not all the rock faces are painted. Had it been a kind of natural, just for the sake of art, all the walls would have been replete with artistic, paintings and art creation. But we do not find that much amount of painted surfaces. So that actually, when we correlate these two things, ethnic groups and the rock painting, we may somewhere connect it with that. Yes, these paintings were done on certain particular periods, time frames. Whether they were ritualistic or magical religious activities, that is yet to be finalized about the rock art.
As time unfurled and mankind's journey of evolution continued, art too embarked on an extraordinary metamorphosis. What began as a rudimentary markings on the ancient cave walls would later blossom into vibrant canvases adorned with intricate details found in exquisite masterpieces like Pattachitra. This transformation was not just a visual one, but a reflection of our evolving perspectives, the ever changing tapestry of our societies, and the enduring expressions of our culture across the annals of the human history.
ପଟ୍ଟଚିତ୍ରର ଆରମ୍ଭ ତ ଆମର ମନ୍ଦିର ସେବାରୁ ଷ୍ଟାର୍ଟ ହେଇଛି। ଯେତେବେଳେ 12th ସେଞ୍ଚୁରୀରେ ଯେତେବେଳେ ମନ୍ଦିରଟି ତିଆରି ହେଇଥିଲା, ସେତେବେଳେ ବଢ଼େଇମାନଙ୍କର କାମ ପରେ ମନ୍ଦିରରେ ଯେତେବେଳେ ରଙ୍ଗରୋଗନ ପାଇଁ ଚିତ୍ରକାରମାନଙ୍କୁ ଡକା ହେଇଥିଲା, ସେମାନେ ଚିତ୍ର କରୁଥିଲେ। ସେଇ ଟାଇମ୍ରେ ଯେଉଁଟା ଆମର ଜ୍ୟେଷ୍ଠ ପୂର୍ଣ୍ଣିମାରେ ଯେତେବେଳେ ସ୍ନାନ ପୂର୍ଣ୍ଣିମା ହୁଏ, ସେତେବେଳେ ଜଗନ୍ନାଥଙ୍କର ତାଙ୍କୁ ସ୍ନାନ ବେଦୀକୁ ନିଆଯାଏ ଆଉ ତାଙ୍କ ଉପରେ ପାଣି ଢଳାଯାଏ, 108 କଳସ ଢଳାଯାଏ। ତାପରେ ତାଙ୍କୁ ଜ୍ୱର ହୁଏ। ଜ୍ୱର ହେଲା ପରେ ସେ ଯେଉଁ ଅଣସରରେ ରହନ୍ତି, ସେତେବେଳେ ଦର୍ଶନ ଦିଅନ୍ତିନି ଲୋକମାନଙ୍କୁ। ଯେଉଁ ଅଣସରରେ ରହନ୍ତି ସେଇ ଟାଇମ୍ରେ ଭଗବାନଙ୍କୁ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଦର୍ଶନ ମିଳେ ନା, ସେଇ ଟାଇମ୍ରେ ତାଙ୍କ ଦର୍ଶନ ପାଇଁ ସେଇଠୁ ଷ୍ଟାର୍ଟ ହେଇଥିଲା ଗୋଟେ ଅଣସର ପଟି ବୋଲି କୁହାଯାଏ। ସେଇଟା ଜଗନ୍ନାଥଙ୍କ, ବଳଭଦ୍ରଙ୍କର, ସୁଭଦ୍ରାଙ୍କର 3 ମୂର୍ତ୍ତିର ପଟି ସେବାୟତ ତାଙ୍କର ଅଛନ୍ତି, ଯେଉଁମାନେ କରିକି ଦେଇଥିଲେ। ଆଉ ସେଇ ଅଣସର ପଟିଟା ପୂଜା ହୁଏ। ଆଉ ସେ ଅଣସର ପଟିକୁ ପଟି ଦିଅ ବି କୁହାଯାଏ। ସେଇଟା ତାଙ୍କର ଯେଉଁ ଯେମିତି ପଟ୍ଟଚିତ୍ର ହଉଥିଲା, ଜଣେ ଆମର ଏଠିକି କଳାକାର ଆସିଥିଲେ, ହରିହର ମାରନା। ସିଏ ବାଟେଳି ସାହିରେ, ପୁରୀ ସାହିରେ ଅଛନ୍ତି। ତାଙ୍କର ସେବାୟତ ମାନେ, ସେମାନେ ପୂର୍ବପୁରୁଷରୁ ତାଙ୍କର ସେ ଜଗନ୍ନାଥଙ୍କର, ବଳଭଦ୍ରଙ୍କ, ସୁଭଦ୍ରାଙ୍କର ପଟି କରୁଛନ୍ତି। ତ ସେଇ ପଟିଟା ଦର୍ଶନ ହୁଏ ସେଇ 15 ଦିନ ପର୍ଯ୍ୟନ୍ତ। ଫେର ଠାକୁର ବାହାରନ୍ତି ରଥଯାତ୍ରାରେ। ତ ସେଇଠୁ ଷ୍ଟାର୍ଟ ହେଇଥିଲା ଆମର ପଟ୍ଟଚିତ୍ରର ଓରିଜିନଟା ଆମେ ସେଇଠୁ ଟ୍ରେସ୍ କରିପାରିବା। ତାପରେ ଛୋଟ ଛୋଟ ପଟି ଆଉ ଛୋଟ ଛୋଟ କାଠରେ ଛୋଟ ଛୋଟ ରଥ ତିଆରି କରିକି ପୁରୀ ସମୁଦ୍ର କୂଳରେ ଲୋକମାନେ ବିକୁଥିଲେ। ସେଇ ଦାଣ୍ଡ ସାହିର ଆଉ ରଘୁରାଜପୁରର ଲୋକମାନେ, ସେମାନେ ବିକୁଥିଲେ। ଆଉ ଲୋକ ଆଜ୍ ଏ ସୋଭିନିୟର ଯେଉଁମାନେ ପୁରୀ ଆସନ୍ତି ପୂଜା ପର୍ବାଣୀରେ, ମାନେ ତୀର୍ଥ ଦର୍ଶନ ପାଇଁ, ତ ସେମାନେ କ'ଣ କରନ୍ତି, ସେଇଟାକୁ ଆଜ୍ ଏ ସୋଭିନିୟର ତାଙ୍କର ନେଇକି ଯାଆନ୍ତି। କିଏ ଗୋଟେ ମନେ ରଖିବା ଇଏରେ ପୁରୀ ଯାଇଥିଲୁ ବୋଲି ସେଇ ଟାଇମ୍ରେ ସେମାନେ ତାକୁ ନେଇକି ଆସନ୍ତି। ତାକୁ କୁହାଯାଏ ଯାତ୍ରୀପଟି। ସେ ଯାତ୍ରୀପଟିର ଜଗନ୍ନାଥଙ୍କର ରଥ ଉପରେ 3 ମୂର୍ତ୍ତି ରହନ୍ତି, ଜଗନ୍ନାଥ, ବଳଭଦ୍ର, ସୁଭଦ୍ରା। ତାର ଗୋଟେ ଛୋଟ ସାଇଜ୍ର ଗୋଟେ ପଟିରେ ତିଆରି ହେଇଥାଏ, ସେଇଟା ତାକୁ କହନ୍ତି ଯାତ୍ରୀପଟି। ବର୍ତ୍ତମାନ ଏ ଚିତ୍ରକଳାଟି କେବଳ ସୀମିତ ନୁହେଁ ଯାତ୍ରୀପଟିରେ। ବର୍ତ୍ତମାନ ବହୁତ ବଡ଼ ବଡ଼ କ୍ୟାନଭାସରେ ବନା ହେଉଛି। ଆଉ ମେନଲି ଯେଉଁ ଥିମ୍ଟା ହୁଏ, ସେ ଥିମ୍ରେ ତ ଆମର ରାମାୟଣ ହଉ, ମହାଭାରତ ହଉ, ଗୀତ ଗୋବିନ୍ଦ ହଉ, କୃଷ୍ଣଲୀଳା ହଉ, ବହୁତ ଗୁଡ଼େ ମାଇଥୋଲୋଜିକାଲ ଥିମ୍ରେ ନର୍ମାଲି ହୁଏ ଏଇ ଯେଉଁ ପଟ୍ଟଚିତ୍ର ଗୁଡ଼ାକ। ଆଜିକାଲି ତ ଲୋକକଳା ଉପରେ କି ଫୋକ୍ ଷ୍ଟୋରିଜ୍ ମାନଙ୍କରେ ବି ପଟ୍ଟଚିତ୍ରର ବହୁତ ଗୁଡ଼େ ଡିପିକ୍ସନ୍ ଦେଖିବାକୁ ମିଳୁଛି। ବର୍ତ୍ତମାନ ତ ଆହୁରି ମିଡ଼ିୟମ୍ ବି ଚେଞ୍ଜ ହେଲାଣି। ବର୍ତ୍ତମାନ ଶାଢ଼ୀ ନିଅନ୍ତୁ କି ଦୁପଟ୍ଟା ନିଅନ୍ତୁ, ରୁମାଲ ନିଅନ୍ତୁ, ଆଉ ଗ୍ଲାସ୍ ଆଉ ଅଲଗା ଅଲଗା ଡେକୋରେଟିଭ୍ ଆଇଟମ୍ରେ ବି ପଟ୍ଟଚିତ୍ର ବହୁତ ଗୁଡ଼ାଏ ପ୍ରସାର ପ୍ରଚାର ହେଲାଣି।
From the hidden chambers of ancient caves, the ritualistic art of our ancestors also ventured into the hearts of community pockets and travel lands. In these close-knit tribal societies, art is not a standalone entity. It's a living, breathing part of their culture. Every dance, song, and painting carries the echoes of centuries-old traditions and stories that have been passed down through generations. The rituals, ceremonies, and celebrations are intertwined with artistic expressions. Whether it's through the intricate body painting, rhythmic drumming, or spirited dance, every aspect of tribal life is a canvas for artistic storytelling. Surprisingly, as the sacred tradition migrated, the essence of art remained strikingly consistent across the vast expanse of the country. The artists, the skilled hands that breathe life into their community stories. From pottery to painting, their work is an extension of their cultural identity. Tribal art, with its vivid colors and symbolic motifs, is a visual encyclopedia of their heritage. Each piece tells a story of resilience, connection to nature, and deeper sense of belonging.
मेरा नाम राम सिंह उर्वेती है। मैं ज़िला डिंडौरी मध्य प्रदेश के रहने वाले हूँ और मैं गौड़ जनजाति से हूँ और ये गौड़ पेंटिंग ही मैं बनाता हूँ और ये पेंटिंग का शुरुआत लगभग 1978 से चालू हुआ है। पहले ये पेंटिंग कागज़ कैनवास में नहीं बनते थे, दीवारों में बनते थे, जिसे हम भित्ति चित्र कहते हैं। और इस पेंटिंग का शुरुआत हमारे मामा श्री स्वर्गीय श्री जंगल सिंह श्याम के द्वारा शुरुआत किया गया है और उन्होंने ग्राम पाटनगढ़ से जो है 1980 में यहाँ भोपाल आए थे भारत भवन, और भारत भवन आकर ही उन्हीं ने इस पेंटिंग को कागज़ में बनाना चालू किया। तब से अभी तक चल रहे हैं। ये पेंटिंग का मुख्य स्रोत जो है, ये पहले गांव में भी पेंटिंग नहीं था। ये पेंटिंग एक डिगना, चौक और नाहदो, ये 3 चीज़ के नाम से जाने जाते थे और वही चीज़ बनते थे। क्या है डिगना? मतलब वही जो आपने बताया कि महिला बनाते हैं केवल, तो महिला ही घर का जो फर्शों में जो अच्छाई के लिए जो चौक बनाते हैं वो डिगना बनाते हैं। वही डिगना है जो मिट्टी के कलर से बनाते हैं। और चौक जो है जो आटा से बनाते हैं, तो वो किसी विशेष पूजा के लिए बनाते हैं। नाहडोल जो है, दीवार की पूरी चारों तरफ होता है, तो वो अच्छा ही है। और इन्हीं नाहडोल, डिगना और चौक से जो उतर के ये पेंटिंग जो है आज कागज़ ब्रश में, कागज़ कैनवास में आया है, तो ये पेंटिंग के नाम से अब ये जाना जा रहा है। और इसी
In a world where time races forward, our perception of art has undergone a profound transformation. Once a sacred and communal expression used to adorn the homes of generations, it was a testament to identity, a reflection of cultural practices, and a bond that connected communities through the ages. But today, art stands as a crossroads of commerce. The essence of art, once deeply rooted in the hearts of communities, is now evolving into a commodity. In the halls of modern art galleries and digital platforms of global marketplace, a different story unfolds. What was once a part of everyday lives of people has now become a prized commodity, a canvas for financial transaction. Artists, once the keepers of tradition, find themselves navigating in the intricate interplay between their roots and the demand of the commercial success. Their craft is now a subject to the ever changing tides of trends and market forces.
हमको ये नहीं होता, बुरा नहीं लगता कि हम इस चित्र को कागज या कैनवास में बनाते हैं। इसके लिए हमको पारिश्रमिक रूप में कुछ मिलता भी है, और साथ साथ हमारे आदिवासी समाज में जो चीज़ लुप्त हो रहा है वो चीज़ संसार में फैल भी रहा है। तो हमको ये लगता है कि ये सनातन जो है कुछ लुप्त हो रहा है वो सदैव बने रहे, तो बनाना चाहिए।
Art in a tribal context is basically culturally embedded. Art is not separate from one's life. Art is a part of ritual, art is a part of social life, art is a part of their subsistence. So therefore, art is culturally embedded. Now, in order to celebrate tribal art, what we are trying to do sometimes is we are trying to decontextualize their art because we want to celebrate in an urban setup. So therefore, the context is lost. On the contrary, another context is recreated to celebrate tribal art in a mega city. So what we get some tribal painters and allow them to work in their own ways, and we treat not merely their art, but we also treat them as exhibition species. Now that is another form of commodification of art. But I am not saying that, of course, they need also promotion, because unless their art is sold, how the art will be alive? That is another dimension. These are very complex issues. We cannot just say this or the other. But we have to bear it in mind the implications of different aspects. I'm not saying we should stop promotion of these art in urban context. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is we should be conscious of the implications of such practices. In a celebratory mode, we should also bear it in mind what are its implications for commodification. That is number one. Number two, to what extent the money that is being generated is going back to the tribal artist himself or herself, whether much of the money is going to the middleman. That is to be seen.
In a world where commerce and culture often intersect, the destiny of art takes on a new chapter. But for indigenous tribal communities, this transformation has not been without its challenges. For tribal communities, this evolving landscape raises complex questions about identity, tradition, and the future of their art.
यही है मैडम कि इस चीज़ को नहीं करना चाहिए वो जो समझदार लोगों को, मेरा कहना यही है। उनको अगर ये है, मैं तो कभी कभी इस चीज़ से परेशान भी नहीं होता हूँ कि मनाते हैं तो ठीक है, लेकिन इस आदिवासी चित्र में जो है अभी जितना भी जो ये उभर के आ रहे हैं उसमें कम से कम नहीं 60-65 या 70% की अभी उभरा है। बहुत सारी चीज़ें आदिवासियों की बात की, अगर उस चीज़ में अगर हम आ, बताना चाहें तो वो लोग फिर नहीं बता पाएंगे। जैसे इन्हीं में हम जो भी आदमी अगर कहता है तो हम बता देते हैं कि ये बड़ा देव की पाना है, इतने। अगर कभी अगर उन्हीं लोगों से पूछा जाए कि ये बड़ा देव की पाना का श्रृंगार क्या है, ऐसे करके, तो वो मेरे को लगता है कि एक भी शब्द नहीं बोल पाएगी उसके श्रृंगार के बारे में। उसका श्रृंगार अभी किसी को पता ही नहीं, और उन श्रृंगारों का नाम है बड़ा देव, और बड़ा देव का बाना संगीत कहने और सारी बना लेने से सारी चीज़ नहीं हो जाती। हमारे इसको बनाते हैं, इसमें क्या क्या चीज़ का उपयोग होता है, इसमें इसका श्रृंगार क्या होता है, कब कब किस काम के कब कब किस चीज़ में ये काम आता है, किसको किस चीज़ किस समय में उपयोग किया जाता है, ये चीज़ अभी किसी को पता ही नहीं। बस बड़ा देव जानते हैं, बड़ा देव का पाना जानते हैं, आदिवासी चित्र है, प्रकृति के ऊपर खेलते हैं, ये इतने जानते हैं। लेकिन प्रकृति के ऊपर भी हमारे बहुत सारी कहानियाँ हैं, क्योंकि हमारा बड़ा देव भी प्रकृति में समाया हुआ है। तो कभी कभी लगता है कि बड़ा, लेकिन कभी ये लग जाता है कि अभी एक जो है कोई ये क्या कहते हैं, राज्य स्तरीय पुरस्कार भी ले लिया है कोई, तो सुना हूँ मैं, ये चित्र बना के। तो ये ठीक बात है, कुछ तो ठीक बात है, पर बहुत ज़्यादा भी ठीक बात नहीं है कि हम ही चले जाएं और फिर वो ऊपर जाके लगता है कि ज्ञानवान आदमी जो सभ्यता से परिपूर्ण है, वो आदमी अपने सभ्यता को खोते जा रहे हैं। जैसे कि हम अपने आदिवासी परंपरा को बचाने के लिए कई प्रकार के किस्सा कहानी वगैरह से पूछते हैं, वहाँ क्या हो रहे होगा, क्या रहा होगा, तो ये बता रहे हैं। उनको हम भिन्न भिन्न तरीक़े से कैसे कैसे करके हम ढूंढ के निकालते हैं, और वो फिर इन चीज़ों में चला जाएंगे तो थोड़ा बुरा तो लगता है।
So it is this something which began as a religious with the religious fervor, with a lot of sentiments and ethos and values attached. Now they are when they come into they are transformed from their walls to the paper. They are now becoming kind of sellable material. So when you sell that, so the ethics, morals, or the value system, whatever was attached with those paintings, with those creation of the paintings, now that is detached. So the context of that painting is now detached, and which now comes to the market, and from there it reaches to the drawing rooms and different places for as simple as ornamentation and for as style, a particular kind.
The other one is, I would take the problem at another level. When the first group of gone painters came to Bhopal, Jankat Kalam and others, they spent their childhood in a rural area. So they had the memory of those contexts, and therefore when they came to Bhopal, the paintings they made portrayed that kind of the context in which they were brought up. But the second and third generation of gone painters who were born and brought up in the urban context, they might be following the tenets of their forefathers. But I'm afraid they were following the tenets without having experienced the same context of their parents and grandparents. So therefore,
It's a journey where destination is still uncertain, where they grapple with duality of their rich heritage becoming a commodity. As we witness the metamorphosis of art from a ritualistic cultural practice to a sought after commodity, it begs the question: what is the true value of art in our lives today? It's a journey that challenges our perception, reshapes our understanding of art's place in the dynamic world.